What's up, believers? We're here for episode 2 of the Make Us Believe podcast. I am your host, Michael,
And I'm John.
and we are going to be doing a recap of Money in the Bank. So, John, overall thoughts. How did you feel about the PLE, like as a whole?
As a whole, I liked it. It didn't blow me away. Obviously, there's always the tease, especially when you have two titles on the line for the final match. Nothing cashed in, nothing even really teased. I could see some people being let down by that, but overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought all the matches were good and exciting, so no complaints. I'd probably rate it a solid B.
Yeah, I agree with that. There really wasn't anything that I disliked. It just wasn't anything like that was popped out amazing for me
I
personally.
I agree.
So yeah, all right, so let's get into it. I guess we'll do like there were 5 matches, right? So we'll just do, I guess, the 2 title matches, the 2 Money in the Bank matches, and then the final match. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right, so let's lead it off with the surprise title match, Dominic Mysterio versus Octagon Jr. for the IC title.
Yeah, I thought this match was pretty good. It was kind of thrown together. Obviously, you got Dom going in against a guy who already had a match earlier, a pretty grueling one too. So I thought it was a good match. I thought, Dom looked good. He won the match clean, even though the other guy gets a pass because again he just had a match. But I thought it was good. I thought it was good for Dom. I thought it was good for the IC title being defended on a PLE, which you don't always see anymore. So yeah, it was solid match for me. And I'm a mark for Dom right now too. So overall really enjoyed it.
In the same boat myself. I love Dom. I love what his character's doing, and unlike other people, like we've talked about this on the previous episode, how we're not really sure where Logan Paul can go as at like after being a heel, because it doesn't seem like he can revert to a face at all. Um, I don't feel like that's the case for Dom. I think Dom has the skill and the fluidity in his character to be able to pull off a face turn at some point. So I'm here for Dom right now. Like I'm all in. Like his
Yeah,
matches
and
are solid. It's great. He's a lot of fun to watch right now.
to your point too, Dom, who probably had the most heat or as much heat as anybody I've seen in the last decade, has now gotten over with the fans. So I mean, absolutely, yeah, I agree with you. I think that Dom is he's not hinting at being a face. He still behaves very heelishly, but he is over and he is becoming a bit of a fan favorite. Despite his best efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just talking like the long term, like longevity of his career.
Yeah,
Like, is he able to adapt and evolve and change, change directions to keep it fresh? I think he is. So I'm
I
like, yeah,
agree. I think he is too.
this was a solid match. I've gone on record before. I am not a fan typically of lucha libre, just the style in general. But that's a personal opinion. That being said, the match was fun, and it stayed pretty grounded, um, in like what I like to see out of a match. The psychology, like more technical aspects, that kind of stuff. So the high fly stuff that Octagon Jr. was doing made sense to me. So it was fun to watch. It really was. And I appreciated Dom, at least in the story, taking the initiative and challenging him at the Worlds Collide event and putting the IC title on the line. Not him being forced into it, but it shows that he's like actually like, a fighting champion and trying. And that speaks a lot to his character and, really pushes the importance of the belt itself. So I really I like that.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, Dom called it out. He said he wanted the match for the title on the line. So I mean, it was bold of him to do it. And like I said, you could argue that it was cheap because he already knew the guy was kind of beaten up. But it was good. And honestly, I even though I don't totally agree, I certainly understand your point about lucha libre in the WWE. It's not a perfect fit a lot of times, but coming off the heels of the AAA event with NXT, I thought it was very appropriate, very well placed, and especially because Dom almost teeters on being a luchador and just a WWE built talent. I thought it was perfect for what it was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um All right, so moving on, the next match, title match, was the women's IC title match, Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyrie. What'd you think of this one?
So this one was not my favorite. We talked a little bit on the previous podcast, I believe, about it, but I thought it was really important for Lyra to go over in this match, and she obviously didn't. I thought she needed it more. Now, obviously, things could pick up with Becky. They could have a really good story that they have in the back of their minds to do with this. And then I'll certainly eat my words, but for what it was at this moment, I didn't like it. I thought Lyra should have gone over. The match itself was fine, but I'm Becky'd out. And I know she just came back, but I've been Becky'd out for years.
That's fair. That's fair. And I everything you had said in the previous episode about about this match and how we disagreed how like where the importance goes, like should the should the win go to Lyra to increase Lyra's stock in general, or should the win go to Becky to help strengthen the lineage of the belt itself and make the belt more important? Uh, I loved that debate, by the way. First off, just that was fun. That was fun. But
That was
I I really think that the right call was made here as far as just the strategic, and I'm not just saying that because, it was what I predicted. I'm I I honestly think that it's better for the title in the long run, and the way that they did it, where Becky just being a complete heel about it, at the end, and Lyra giving her the German was that was it for me. Like it still keeps Lyra strong. Becky won via roll up, so it wasn't like she like flat out, manhandle slammed her in the middle, dead center of the ring, and she just laid down for it. Like it was a not so clean pin. She accepted the loss and was fed up with Becky's shenanigans and gave her the German. And I appreciated that because it still makes Lyra look strong in that loss, and it continues on that storyline. That feud can keep going. So they have a couple of different directions they can go with it now, while the belt still gets to change hands and, you know, get that prestige going.
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent. I do like that she got the last laugh in it. I thought she was a little bit too cocky afterwards. Like, she's kind of going down the ramp, flexing on the move she just did. But to me, you still just lost your title. And yeah, on this one, we're largely going to agree to disagree because, I get what you're saying about Becky bringing some prestige to this title, but the IC title's historically been the workers title, right? So to me, like Becky's a superstar. Like I'm not a fan of her, but I still I recognize what she is. She's one of the bigger female talents, really, that WWE's ever had. So to me, this wasn't necessary for the title. But overall, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna knock anybody who enjoyed this. There's if you're a Becky fan, there's a lot to enjoy. To me, though, it just I didn't think it was necessary, and I kind of want them to try to build Lyra up more because right now she's kind of at a bit of an impasse where she's not she's getting over, but I don't know how much the crowd is really into her right now.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. Uh, I didn't necessarily want Becky to be the person to take the belt because it's not about Becky. It's just about the belt changing hands so it can stay in the chase kind of thing. Because if a belt stays with one person, it gets stale and then you kind of don't care about it. So, but if it's an active belt, it's moving around and everything. Uh, I hate to harken back, but like when they had John Cena doing the open challenge for the US title, that was some of the best week in, week out wrestling that I've seen just because it was giving multiple people a chance and you saw that belt being flashed and defended every week. So I'm not saying something like that needs to happen with the IC title, but I did feel like it needed to move along to somebody else to make it a moving target kind of thing and keep it spicy as it was.
Yeah, I understand your point, and again, I understand I'm probably in the minority on this as well, because a lot of people believe like the John Cena era of the U.S. title, his second round trip with it was the best because of the Open Challenge. But To me, I didn't love that either. Kind of the same reason I didn't love John being a superstar, having a mid card title, and also like I feel like when it's defended every week, it loses value instead of looking like something special. I'm not saying like don't defend it every week or don't defend or just defend it at every PLE. Definitely defend it, but it doesn't have to be every week. I want to feel like you really have to earn a shot at this, and if you want to get over, like this is your first step. So in beating somebody like John Cena or Becky Lynch, it's like, well, I'm just going for the mid card title here, but I got to beat somebody who's 100% going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. So, why am I even going for this title? Why aren't I just skipping to the main title, who's probably being held by, somebody who I have a better shot against? You're going to sit here and tell me that, Becky Lynch is less imposing than Tiffy? Like, absolutely not. Now, I get it. Tiffy just had that win over Charlotte, but she's still pretty green. Like, overall, again, Becky Lynch is absolutely going to be in the Hall of Fame, and she's back, and she's looking like she's heating up. So like that's the mid card title, and then you got Tiffy Time running the main show. I don't know. Like to me, cool, but I got some mixed feelings on it.
No, that's totally valid. It's 100% valid, and I respect your opinion on this. And you make some like really, really good points. You're actually starting to change my mind a little bit, so we're gonna move on. Uh,
Fair enough.
all right, so yeah, Money in the Bank matches. The women's Money in the Bank. I predicted Roxanne Perez was gonna take this. I forget who you predicted. Oh,
I thought
is
Alexa had to win this.
right, yeah. Uh, Not, I did not have Naomi taking this on my bingo card at all. Like that was
Me
not in
neither.
the picture. I figured that she was just tossed in there for some spots or whatever.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I thought Naomi was filler in this match. I even though I do like what she's been doing as a heel, and I kind of like the reinvention, I really was kind of surprised that she had this. But I'm not going to lie to you either. Right after she won it, I was kind of on board with it. It's sometimes WWE is really good at doing stuff like that. I don't think there's any shot it's what I want or what's going to happen, and then it happens, and I get it. I'm like, okay, I could see this. So and it does make sense. She's reinvented herself. She's a new character. She's a heel. She's a veteran. So like, I feel like this makes more sense than I thought it would. I was actually okay with it. I still feel like if I was booking it, like I still probably would have had um, Alexa Bliss win it. But Naomi, despite being, I think she's a two-time women's champion. Like she hasn't done anything in probably close to a decade. So I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Like we forget about Naomi's pedigree, about her being a former world champion, right? Like that is there.
Yeah.
She's that. She was tag champ. So she's held titles before in the women's division. She's not just, some person, just randomly there who's never won anything. And I feel like we forget that a lot just because she's been gone for so long and then like kind of pushed to the background of like that glow stuff where it's just like, oh, look, she's partnering with Natty again. They're gonna lose, that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm excited to see her reinvention. I'm excited to see what she does with it and how she chooses or how they choose to use her with the cash in and just it's going to be interesting. I'm on board with it. It's not what I wanted. I do think that there were a couple of other different angles that they could have taken, especially given like if they're trying to get the a slower build with the newer blood that was in the match, um, to kind of move them up and potentially get a world title from this. But it's like in a slow build, you're not going to necessarily have them take it in this case from Naomi kind of thing, like that would be too soon. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like talking out my ass right now. Uh,
No, 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 but
I'm,
I get what you're saying, and I do agree with everything you said there. I think another thing that because it's been a few years now that kind of gets put on the back burner is, like it was a big deal when it happened, and I really soured on her too when her and Sasha Banks were tag champs and weren't happy about it and kind of took their ball and went home. And Sasha obviously in AEW now. Naomi went to TNA for a while as Trinity, did a good job there, came back, kind of got cold again. So like I actually give Naomi a decent amount of credit for kind of getting back on track, kind of going through some ups and downs, and even ups and downs to where like I was soured on her. For somebody to come back, grind it out, put their nose to the ground, and just work and trust in the process. Like I got to give her some credit. Like it really is working out to a point where I'm, again, like I'm okay with it, and I didn't think I'd be okay with it at all. If you would have told me before the match she was going to go over, I would have been like, what the hell's that? Like I wouldn't have got it. But now seeing it, I'm kind of they're making me believe, Mike.
we go. There we go. Okay. Well, I agree with this. So yeah, I guess we're in agreement. It's not what we
Yeah.
necessarily wanted, but we're not
Yeah.
mad at what we got. It's fair.
Yes. Agree. Yep.
So men's Money in the Bank. I think we both called this, didn't we?
We
Seth,
did.
yeah. It, this was kind of a no-brainer, especially considering that the new faction that he has and everything. Like, it
Yep.
was almost a how can Seth not win? Um,
Yeah.
uh, Jacob turning on Solo though, like you called
Oh.
that, and as it was happening, I'm like, oh man, John called it. That's so good. So
I, I
I was seriously just sitting there in the chair screaming as it was happening when it was grabbing the ankle. It was like, yes.
I love it. Yeah. And you know what? Like it was fun to watch too because I'm pretty sure everybody knew it was going to happen. It was a perfect slow burn to it. It really was like it took probably about 3 minutes for it to happen, and you're just watching and waiting because you know what's about to go down. And it was fun, and it was the right time, and it worked out perfectly. He cost them the title, or not the title. He cost them the Money in the Bank, and yeah, and allowed Seth to get the win. And yeah, kind of like what you were saying, like we were both. We didn't. It didn't make any sense for Seth not to win. I thought LA Knight made enough sense, but not nearly as much as Seth. And then nobody else really made a lot of sense to me. So I thought they made the right choice. I thought they did it really well, and yeah, that was fun, and I'm really excited to kind of see how they continue with it. We saw Seth come out on Raw, and kind of show the briefcase, and that was it. And it's good because it doesn't matter, who's going for the title right now. He's going to be a looming threat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I loved that play that he did. It was such a power play of like him coming out, showing the Money in the Bank briefcase, and that was it.
Yep.
Like he doesn't have to
Yep.
get in the ring, he doesn't have to do anything. He's just, I have the
Yep.
briefcase, just so you know. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's perfect.
It,
Um
I totally agree.
yeah. So yeah, I don't who do you think he's gonna cash in on now? We saw Jay lose the title this Monday. Um which I was not a fan of, obviously. I don't know where he goes from here now, if he's still in the title race, or we're dropping him down, or what. But, we'll see.
So yeah, I was very confused by that too, and I've been kind of coming across some dirt sheets, and it seems like Goldberg's about to come back, and he wants to have his final match against Gunther. And when I saw that, it started making a lot more sense to me. Like I think they wanted Goldberg to have this match against Gunther for the title. I'm sure Gunther's going to go over, and I feel like that was the whole purpose of taking the belt off Jay when they did. Now we've seen stuff like this before. I never like it. I thought Jay losing was pretty abrupt without enough story behind it, and I don't like when main titles change like that. I'm not saying like it never works out, but for the most part, it feels a little cheapened. Um, but yeah, once I saw that Goldberg was looking to come back, and like they didn't say exactly when, but I'd expect Goldberg on Raw, like as recently as Raw. So I think they're going to start building that program. I'm not saying I agree with it or love it. I don't need to see Goldberg ever again, as far as I'm concerned. But it did make more sense to me. I think after that match, then you could kind of start building to, maybe Jay coming back after it, or you know, I don't know. There's a bunch of ways you can go with it. There's a lot of people who are gunning for that title. I don't know exactly how they want to do it, but um, I don't know. I do think that Seth probably ultimately is going to go after that title just because he's got his whole faction on that program. I know you can go after any title with the Money in the Bank, but I don't think you could bring your whole faction over with you. No, I think the rule typically is all right. Well, if you win that belt, then you get to be on that show. But he's got a whole crew of people now that he needs to carry over. So I think they're going to stick with Raw on that. I don't know when, where, or how they're going to do it, but I do expect him to probably go after that title. And honestly, even if you wanted to do it right away, just because the whole Gunther regaining it was so abrupt, you could even have Gunther go over Goldberg. Or I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, I think the right move would be for Goldberg to put Gunther over. I also wouldn't be surprised Goldberg being Goldberg if he went over. And if you do that, I think that's an absolute perfect time for Seth to cash in, because then Goldberg gets to ride out into the sunset. He had his final match, and then you got Seth running the show again, which is again what it's been built up to be. I'm actually going to say that that's going to be my official prediction for that.
Like it. I like it. We can go on. I can sit here and rant for multiple hours about Goldberg and how much of a piece of shit he is. But we're
Yeah,
not. I'm not going to. If that is the case, just know I'm mad. I'm mad at it. That it's like, who's next? Who cares? Like, seriously,
yeah.
that we could not get rid of this guy soon enough, honestly. And Goldberg, I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I'm not sorry. You suck. Get better or get out. Like, dude, you suck. I don't just that's it. Like,
I
sorry.
look. I watched WCW during the Monday Night Wars. I didn't like Goldberg then. Now I can
No.
understand and appreciate his value at that time, but really anything in WWE, especially in the later years, like I did not need it. His win over Kevin Owens, his win over Bray Wyatt for titles, like what were we doing then? And again, like that just shines light where it's already pretty well lit about how bad Vince was at the end. But geez, oh man, those were brutal. But yeah, I think that that's probably what's going to happen. I think that Goldberg's going to come out and have a 5 minute top match with Gunther. He's going to go over. Seth's going to come in, cash it in. That'll be the last we see of Goldberg, and then we'll have the Seth program.
I can see that happening for sure. I for one am now scared about that happening, like legitimately, because Goldberg hurts people. He's hurt multiple people.
He
Like
ended Bret.
almost every time he ended Bret Hart's career. He shortened the Undertaker's, like when he gave him a
Yep.
concussion and stuff at WrestleMania, or what was it, Crown
Yeah,
Jewel
it
or
was
whatever. Yeah, it's Crown Jewel. My bad. I
yeah.
apologize. So he hurts people. He's bad in the ring. He doesn't do anything productive in the match. He's a squash match freak show, like sideshow. That's all he is. That's it. And
He's a one man for business.
yeah, and I mean, he hurts people. So now you have him going up, if that's the case, him going up against Gunther. Like, I don't want to see Gunther injured or his career shortened. I want to see Gunther for multiple years. He's a good wrestler. I enjoy his matches and
Mhm.
everything. So please don't do this. Don't let Bill Goldberg back into this thing to hurt people. Just leave him out to pasture. Let him collect money some other way. I don't know, he can go do whatever. Let him show his feet. I don't care. Just don't let him back here. Um, yeah,
I
dude,
agree. I agree.
I'm really disturbed by that. But anyway, we're getting off on a tangent. I that being said, Seth won. I I appreciated the match. A lot of great spots. I feel like LA Knight held the crowd's attention just enough, like absolutely perfectly. Like he made you believe he was gonna win because it was hometown, everything, like it was in, and he was locked into that. He wasn't overselling, he wasn't underselling, he was just all of those spots that they designed to make it seem like he was about to win were freaking perfect, and I loved it. It was a great match.
Yeah, it was. It was really fun to watch. It definitely had its fair share of teases. It had again it had Solo getting turned on by Jacob. It was just fun. It was a fun match. It was kind of everything you wanted to see. It had good spots. Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Yeah. All right, so last up we have the tag match: Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus Logan Paul and John Cena. Um, ah, it was okay. It was okay. Like it wasn't like, I didn't expect a, top pedigree tag match out of this. Everybody got their spots and the match moved forward pretty well and stuff. It felt okay. Like it was a decent match. I give it like a solid C plus B in that range.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm gonna say this, and I know it's gonna start sounding pretty soon like I'm marking out over Logan Paul. And here's the thing, I might be. I've said before, like I think the guy's the biggest douche probably in real life, but he is such a damn natural in the ring and on the mic. And I love his entrance with the drone. He doesn't do it every time. It's a special occasion thing. This is only like the second time I think we've seen it. Third tops, but I think it's only the second time we've seen it. It's perfect and it's so cool. And then like I loved how he brought it in during the match and it wound up biting him. And we got to see Cody give him a shoot. What did he do? He doing a move off the top rope on the turnbuckle. Like it was just cool, man. It was a fun match. I agree with you on a B. Like it wasn't anything super special. There were some fun spots in the match. It served its purpose. But again, like the whole time I feel like it's Money in the Bank, so you're kind of waiting to see if somebody comes out. It doesn't. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't usually happen. But I feel like that just knowing that could happen, with everybody having it on their mind, it does take away a little bit from the match. But overall, it was a fun match. It did what it was supposed to do, and yeah, overall it was fine.
Uh, I'm with you. Like I don't know where Logan Paul's character goes. Like I said, I don't see him ever being able to be like transition to be a face character. So I don't know how what the longevity of his career is just from that aspect because I see people getting stale on him as a heel after a while and then him not being able to evolve, which sucks because he is naturally talented. He really is. Uh, that moonsault through the table was freaking glorious. Like,
It was awesome. It was
yeah,
perfect.
I've watched like, oh, they make a big deal of like Braun Breaker, jumping from there, or from the ring apron to the announce table to the drop the elbow or whatever. And I was like, yes, that is impressive. That's like a 10-foot leap or something like that. It's not close, but jumping up and doing a acai moonsault from the apron onto the announce table and landing it as flush as he did. Like he hit that absolutely perfectly. I was just
Yeah,
like, yeah, I don't even care if he's just here to be someone who provides like highlight reels for PLEs or whatever. Like he's good. He's really good. And I can't deny that. I don't like him as a person. He can go play in the freeway sometimes if he wants to, like as far as a human being goes. But as far as watching him on wrestling, yeah, bring him on. I'm okay with it. He's a solid heel. He's good on the mic. He's great in the ring. Like, yeah, let's do it.
yeah.
And
And I go ahead.
sorry, no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like to what you were saying about him being kind of almost typecasted as this character as a heel. I agree with you. There's no world where you could try to put him face right now. Times change. The world's crazy. I'm not saying it's impossible for there to ever be a time where it could happen, but right now, not for the foreseeable future, right? So I agree with that, but I do think they're working him well with that situation in mind because he's not there every week, but he does, when he shows up, it feels big, it feels important, and he does what he's supposed to do, gets under the crowd's skin. He's cocky, he's arrogant, he plays his own character well. He feeds into it perfectly. So right now I think it's okay because they're not shoving him down our throats. But a lot could change one way or another.
Yeah, and I agree. Like you're kind of getting like not you're getting like a drip feed of Logan coming in, letting him be himself and just do Logan Paul stuff, and it's working. It's super working.
Yep.
Creative, if you're listening to this, keep it going. Like I don't know what you guys have long term plan for this guy. Cool. Just keep this going because we
Keep it on
appreciate it.
going.
Yeah. I will say though, I disagree with you on one of your previous statements saying that
Uh-oh.
you're expecting somebody to come out and nobody came out this time. And I don't know if you remember how this match ended, but we absolutely got somebody coming out. The one, the only, our truth, baby!
You know what? You're right. That is fair. We might not have got a cash in, but our truth coming back was definitely a surprise. And it just shows. I don't care what Triple H said. It just goes to show that sometimes the voice of the people can be heard and can be listened to. I thought that was awesome. I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun. I'm not crazy about him cutting his hair off on Raw, but I do like what it I guess represents and signifies that he's going to have a character change now. This isn't going to be the fun, goofy comedy wrestler R-Truth that we've gotten for the better part of probably a decade now. Um, we're going to get a more serious R-Truth, an R-Truth that can potentially contend. So I'm okay. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I'm weary about it, honestly, because I love
Yeah.
our truth. Like our truth just
Oh
as
yeah.
our truth for the last, like you said, like last at least better part of a decade. Uh he has been a absolute rock as far as being a comic relief or just a go-to guy and just being able to do anything and everything that you need him to do. As like, oh, you need a filler, he's got you. Oh, you need this to be like just thrown in, he's got you. You know, like he's been freaking perfect, and I've loved that about him. Him going more serious, I don't know, or them changing his character into a more serious character, I don't know how they make him like a legit contender if he's not doing the fun stuff. So I don't know if it's actually going to end up having the crowd kind of turn on him a little bit or grow stale because we wanted our truth and we got Ron Killings, if that makes sense. Um,
But I think you could even do that right. Like if the crowd starts turning on him, you could just lean right into it. It wasn't. I mean, it was a long time ago, but it wasn't so out of my memory when he was kind of a heel. Remember, like even during the pipe bomb, that was actually a our truth victory over John Cena. He won that match, and now don't get me wrong, he won that match because of CM Punk, but he did beat John Cena in that match, and at the time he was competing, and I think he even had a title match around that time with John Cena. So, um, I think that if they do it correctly, which I'm not sure how that is, but I think that you can really potentially have our truth become a little bit more serious and a competitor, and even potentially a heel if you book it properly.
Yeah, I think that if they have a good enough plan for it, he is a good enough actor and is in tune with the business and the fans enough to be able to portray that and move it forward in a really successful manner.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
so I
acting
think I
crazy.
think he'll be able to
Wrinkle would,
he'll be able to pull it off.
yeah, I think he'll be okay. I have
Yeah,
faith.
yeah, I do too. I'm just happy that he's back. Like in any way, shape, or form, I'm happy that he's back because he's a damn national treasure. Um,
He is,
just
he is.
that
But yeah,
just he's absolutely he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. It's like there's few times that you get to look at somebody and know you're in the Hall of Fame. You deserve this. You're going in. You know, and to me, Ron Killings is that person, not necessarily because he was the absolute best in the ring, but probably because he was one of the best at crowd reactions and promos. Like everything else that is wrestling, he is one of the best in the world like that I've ever seen at, and he's not bad in the ring. Like he's good in the ring. It's just,
yeah.
he's absolute elite class S tier when it comes to the promos and the mic work and like working with the crowd and everything like that. So, yeah. Yeah, if
So
you're
safe to
hearing
say
this
that
out
we're,
there,
we're both
Hall of
okay.
Fame.
Yeah. No, I think that I kind of wavered on this a little bit last week, but I think you're right. I think that he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I don't know how you have a Hall of Fame without him in it. He's done exactly what he's needed to do. He's had a long career. He's accomplished good things. I think he might even be the first Black NWA champion. But he is good.
He
I
is.
like him. I think it's safe to say we're both hopeful, but this is going to be one of those things that WWE is going to have to make us believe.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Um, So yeah, stay tuned, guys. We have a lot of stuff cooking right now. Money in the Bank. We're where we have we advanced the uh what's called the feud with Lyra and Becky, and kind of opened that up to the rest of the division now that the belt's in on Becky's hands. We Dom continues his IC run in pretty good, decent, however you want to say it, manner, like going forward. Like I'm here for that. And then we got Naomi and Seth just waiting in the wings to cash in whenever they want. So yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff going forward. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man. I think there's a lot of good potential. I wouldn't say I'm blown away at the moment, but I'm certainly satisfied. So, you don't always have to be blown away, and you can't always be blown away. So I think that we're in a good period where there's a lot of good options, and I have a I have a good amount of faith in Triple H running the show. That it's not always going to be, exactly what you want to see, but it can't be, right? So I have faith. I believe. I want him to make me believe more. I'm here for the ride. I'm having fun, and that's what it's all about.
There we go. Like, and yeah, you heard it, creative. Make us believe. Keep making us believe. We want this. This is what us as the fans want out of the world. All right.
We, the people.
Yes, we, the people. Uh, all right. Well, I guess that's gonna end it. It's just a quick recap episode, so we're not gonna go into like a crazy diatribe or rants or anything like that. We'll go into that later on in future episodes. We'll just rant off at you guys. But for now, keep it short and simple. So for us here at the Make Us Believe Wrestling Podcast, I'm Michael.
I'm John.
Don't stop believing, guys.